everybody, Anderson Cowan here. I do reviews of movies weekly on something called the Film Vault, as well as CinemAddicts on a regular basis. Today we're talking House of Gucci. Things might look a little different today. Got the garage door open. My boy is with me. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Unless you're an indigenous person, then apologies. House of Gucci. 2 hours and 37 minutes of a saga that occurred for the most part in the 80s, as far as this story is concerned. All right, I might shock a lot of you. This might be a shocking revelation. I am not much of a fashionista. In fact, I'm not a fashionista of any sorts. I don't pretend to be. I'm not, buddy. I do not like fashion, and I know that I understand what it is. I know that with a little bit of effort, I could probably appreciate it more. However, there's only so many things you can choose to give effort to. I grew up in the opulent 80s, the Reagan years, and I was a punk rock kid, and I hated opulence, and I hated people who wore like $5,000 shoes and bragged about it. I don't like flexing money, and I feel like fashion affords a lot of people the opportunity to flex their money. I don't like it. I think it's gross. So when the House of Gucci trailer came on, we all saw it. For those of us who go to a lot of movies, saw the trailer quite a bit over the last few months or so. Here's what was going through my mind. Good-looking trailer. Ridley Scott. It'll be nice to see two movies from Ridley Scott. He's one of the finest directors we have working today. I didn't know much about Gucci, as I already said, so I'm sitting there in the theater watching the trailer, and I'm going, I didn't know that the Gucci son married a Russian woman. I just assumed Lady Gaga, and I'm not being a jerk here, I just assumed that she was being Russian, because, I mean, they had her in a little babushka, and she was, like, on the ski slopes, and talking about how doesn't have morals, but she's fair. Very Russian. Turns out she wasn't playing Russian, she was playing Italian. Al Pacino is in this movie. Jeremy Irons, Adam Driver, I already mentioned. Did I mention? Selma Hayek, Jack Houston, who he's the half-faced guy in Boardwalk Empire. It was good to see him. He's got a very high beard line. That's not important. Here's something else that I should say. I try to know as little as possible about movies going in, and it's really rare that you can do that. It's in today's day and age, it's rare that you go in to see a movie and you don't know much about it. So that being said, I'm aware of movies, but I don't do all the research like I used to do back in the day, because then I usually set myself up for disappointment. So if I go in as fresh as possible, the better. I may have known that a certain actor was in this at one point. I don't know. However, I'm sitting there watching this movie. I should say everyone was doing just like weird. Everyone was in different movies, and I've seen this before with Ridley Scott movie, like The Counselor. If you saw that, like everyone was in different. It seemed like they thought they were in a different movie. And no one was on the same page, and it felt really bad for Michael Fassbender in The Counselor, because he was acting his butt off, and it wasn't really for anything other than a bad movie. Ultimately.
Do you think we can make a Ghostbuster movie?
No, I don't think we can make a Ghostbuster movie. I think that would be very, very difficult. But who knows? I mean, anything's possible. Reach for the stars. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching, and then Pato Gucci, who is an embarrassment to the family. He's the cousin to Adam Driver, who's the lead. He's the son to Al Pacino over there, and the character looks very old. He's got the bald head, it's long on the sides, and he wears horrific clothing, corduroy suits, that kind of thing, and he's a buffoon, and he's vaguely familiar, and I'm watching, and I'm like, oh my God, I think that's him. I think that's, and I didn't know. And if I did know that this guy was in this movie, okay, I've had some problems with Jared Leto in the past. I have had some run-ins with him. I've worked on shows that he's been a guest on, and the guy is a goofball. And I guess I have a hard time seeing himself take himself so seriously at times, and the industry taking him so seriously, and the awards that he got, and I feel like he's got this godlike self-image, and he was transformative in a way that I have not seen since Daniel Day-Lewis. I walked into that theater not knowing that Jared Leto was in this movie, not liking Jared Leto even a little bit, walking out of this movie going, oh my God, that guy has immense talent. And I know this might not be breaking news, and maybe a lot of you realized this before. I thought he was overrated. I thought he was more of a pretty face than anything else. I know he's wanted to be taken seriously for a long time. He's put on weight in the past for other roles. My God. Now, there is some backlash. A lot of people are giving him a lot of the business on the old social medias and saying that he sounds like Mario, Super Mario Brothers. He's doing this exaggerated, buffoony, comedic take on this character who's no longer with us. He's in a different movie, but he's having fun. And I got the sense that Ridley Scott was having fun with this character too, and giving him all the leash that he wanted. The makeup was great. You could see a little bit of Jared. The rest of the movie, I was just, every time he was on, I'm like, I think it's him. I think Jared Leto's in there somewhere. It's really hard to tell if you don't know going in. Now you know because you're watching this, but my God. So yeah, there is some backlash coming. For everyone's accents or lack of accents. Adam Driver's in and out. Al Pacino's just playing himself. Once again, everyone's doing their own thing, but the only one that's really super impressive to me, to this guy anyways, is Pato, played by Jared Leto. I'm not going to say I'm a fan. I'm not going to go see Morbius. Let's not get insane. But Jared Leto, I want him to be up. I don't want this to... I know some Italians are probably going to be offended by his Luigi. Yeah, you got to be offended by Curious George too, because Chef Paschetti over there, he's doing the same thing, right? And that's Chef Paschetti. I know. He's offensive to a lot of people, though, so you got to be careful. Anyways, the movie, the first act is kind of meandering because you see that she's targeted him for his money, even though you get the sense that she's turned on by money, so she is turned on by him. She's probably in love with him because of his money. She's just one of these people. And then once she starts making her moves, once they're actually married, once she marries Adam Driver character in Gucci, and she's inside the Gucci family, it starts to pick up some steam. And then I guess it peters out to an extent. It was entertaining. I felt like it didn't really hit the tone, or if it had a tone that it knew that it was going after. It felt like a Martin Scorsese movie, and probably maybe should have been a Martin Scorsese movie. Nothing against Ridley Scott. You get the sense that some of these directors, they've been doing this for so long, they get paid really well, they get to work with the best in the business, and they're just having fun. Maybe a little bit more fun than they should. They don't really have anything to prove. I don't know Ridley Scott. I don't know what his motivation is. I know that he's immensely talented. But this movie is not what it could have been. However, Jared Leto was phenomenal. Like, you let me, if you've seen House of Gucci, you let me know. Please let me know in the comments if you think that if he was offensive or if he was bad. I know that he's getting the business, like I said, over on social media, and I got to tell you, I was floored. I walked out with bare feet, and my socks blew right off. All right, yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you thought Lady Gaga was good. If you thought anyone, Jeremy Irons, if you thought he was good. He was doing they're all doing, and I didn't say this, like Ridley Scott movies, they just look like real movies. I mean, there's no mistaking it for like a big, they look so good. They look like cinema. Whereas a lot of movies these days, they don't look like cinema. Anyways, happy Thanksgiving. I hope this was somewhat informative. It's 2 hours, 37 minutes. You could do much worse with your time.